East from CBS News correspondent Bob Simon.
Bethlehem prepared today for what could conceivably be its last Christmas under Israeli rule. If the Begin plan for self-rule on the West Bank is adopted, the Israeli military administration will be dismantled. Future Christmases will see the same brightly decorated manger square, but no Israeli soldiers. In Jerusalem today, final preparations were being made for another event also taking place on Christmas, a meeting between an Arab and a Jew in a town on the Suez Canal. The summit between Begin and Sadat has Israelis excited, hopeful, and stunned. Events have simply been moving too fast for the minds of people to absorb them.
I'm very happy because all the people are happy.
We are very happy, very much. And we hope, we have only hope.
I'm excited, I'm looking forward to something, but when you think about all the propaganda, all the hate, you know, how does it just change overnight like that? I mean, how?
Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. The Christian message of hope has long had an ironic twist when spoken in the battleground of the Middle East. But this year, for the first time in decades, the Holy Land seems just the right place for Christmas. Bob Simon, CBS News, Jerusalem.
Rescue workers in New Orleans have now recovered 29 bodies from the wreckage of the Continental Grain Company elevator that blew up yesterday. 6 people are still missing and 6 survivors are in critical condition in area hospitals. President Carter has agreed to meet with striking farmers in Plains, Georgia tomorrow morning. Some 1,000 farmers rallied on Main Street in the president's hometown today, hoping that he would speak to the crowd, but security would have become a problem. Ed Bradley files this report.
Families with their tractors and trucks came to Plains to continue their demonstrations for higher farm prices. The crowd was smaller than had been expected, but still more than 1,000 people were hoping the president would hear their demands and speak at the rally.
We thought we might be able to come down here, you know, and put some kind of pressure on the president. We realized that wasn't possible. So we said, let's back up a little bit and just go down there and have our rally and ask the president of the country if he'll listen to our problems. He told us that he wants to meet with us with a small group, and they decided about 4. And the reason for that was that, you know, if you get a group of people at it, we're not going to get the point across. Everybody's trying to talk.
Kiersey also tried to explain the president's absence by saying the Secret Service was responsible.
Because of security reasons. We know it, we know that, but he doesn't know it.
Always had a lot of respect for him, but I sure would have thought he'd been here today.
Well, we at least got a door open.
A White House spokesman said the president preferred to meet with a small group, so he called a personal friend, Harold Israel, a farmer here in Plains, to arrange a meeting. The president will listen tomorrow morning to the farmers, but there's no indication that he's willing to go beyond his stated position of waiting to see the effects of the recently enacted farm bill. Ed Bradley, CBS News, with the president in Plains, Georgia.
In other world headlines at this hour, Interior Secretary Andrus has announced the scheduled sale in January of federal offshore petroleum leases off a New England fishing area. Soviet President Brezhnev says the Soviet Union will have to respond in kind if the United States goes ahead with plans to produce a neutron bomb. And back in this country, a copyright story in the Denver Post says the Army administered nerve gas to more than 20 soldiers during a testing program in 1961.
There are many new-size personal cars, but this is the car that started it all. Chrysler LeBaron, a Chrysler of fine detail, with the option of genuine leather seating. Yet LeBaron is a medium-price road car with impressive gas mileage. So before you look at Grand Prix, Monte Carlo, or Cutlass, look at a new leader. The new Chrysler LeBaron.
See the 78s at Bud Martin Chrysler Plymouth BMW 909 St. Louis.
A section of the high school at Metz, Missouri in Vernon County was destroyed by fire today, less than 2 hours after classes were dismissed for the Christmas holidays. No injuries reported. Firefighters from 5 nearby communities brought the blaze under control within about an hour. Area farmers carried water in tanks to the school to help firefighters from Nevada, Rich Hill, Hume, Butler, and Deerfield. Former Springfield Mayor E.L. Anderson died early today after a sudden illness. He was 89. Anderson, a longtime official with Frisco Railway, turned to public service when he was 73 years old. First elected to city council in 1961. A year later, he was named to fill the unexpired term of Mayor David Scott. Funeral services will be at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon at the First Baptist Church. Burial will be in Green Lawn Cemetery under the direction of Ralph Themey. TV 10 News has learned that federal authorities are investigating alleged labor organizing irregularities by Teamsters Union Local 245 in Springfield. Dan French has a report.
The investigation of the local Teamsters Union was made by the National Labor Relations Board and turned over to the U.S. District Attorney's Office in Kansas City. It involves possible irregularities in last summer and fall's organizing campaign at Litton Industries Advanced Circuit Division. Thomas Hendricks, NLRB chief in Kansas City, said the investigation revealed possible irregularities in two areas. The first involved possible forgery of signatures on cards which employees complete to indicate interest in a representation election. The second involves the possible use of outdated cards. Those cards must be signed by 30% of eligible employees of any employer in order for the National Labor Relations Board to certify the result and call an election. The 30% figure is mandatory, and any union seeking a representation election must provide that number of cards to the NLRB. Hendricks said the Kansas City office of NLRB has made its investigation available to the U.S. District Attorney's Office there. U.S. District Attorney Ronald Reed Jr. did not return a number of calls which were made today by TV 10 News. However, it is believed that Reed may be considering bringing the matter to the attention of a federal grand jury in Kansas City in January. Hendricks said the NLRB notified Teamsters Local 245 last fall that the matter was under investigation. He said shortly after that notification, Local 245 withdrew its application for a representation election. Hendricks said he approved that withdrawal about 1 month after it was filed. Norwood Little of Local 245 said the withdrawal request had nothing to do with the notification that its procedures were under investigation. Little said the withdrawal request was made after the union had received numerous indications that there was little chance of winning. He said another factor was an indication that massive layoffs might result in the wake of the Zenith decision to transfer a number of jobs from Springfield. Little said that if there were any forged cards, they were completed without the knowledge of Local 245 or himself, and he knew nothing about the allegations of using old cards. Little was in overall charge of organizing the campaign at Litton. Dan French, TV 10 News.
Hey, look at that. It's a chainsaw with its case. Uh-oh, somebody left it. Probably taking a coffee break. It's a McCulloch Mac 140. Wow. It's got automatic oiling. That's slick. This is the chain brake safety feature. Yeah. It stops the chain in less than 1/10 of a second. That's fast. And look at these teeth. They sharpen themselves with a press of a button. Mine don't.
The McCulloch Mac 140. You can't buy another chainsaw with all these features at any price.
That McCulloch's got just about everything. Yeah, but I bet it can't swim. Good point.
McCulloch. In the yellow pages, under saws.
I'm Charles McClure. Ressie Wallace and I have been selling and servicing appliances in the Springfield trade area for over 30 years. Now we want to show you our complete line of Admiral Color television, both portable and console models. Our special price for Christmas and until January the 1st is a 25-inch color console for $549. Free 30, 60, and 90-day payment plan, or 12 months and 24 months or 36 months financing. See Ressie Wallace or Charles McClure for your new Admiral Color television. Lots of free parking across the street.
Recently, a government report stated the air is getting cleaner across the country. In the Springfield area, the City Health Department monitors the cleanness of the air, and the current pollution report is good and bad. Since 1968, when records were first kept, the suspended particles in Springfield's air have gone up, down, and now are edging up again. The range has been from a 64 in 1968 to a high of 82 in 1970 to 48 in 1975, and a 54 reported last year. Air Pollution Chief Joe Allen says the air pollution rise was caused mainly by city utilities switching to coal for its fuel. He predicts the air will not get significantly dirtier in Springfield as more people move to the Queen City. That is, unless more coal is used.
I think that we can probably say that the change in the fuel burning had a bigger influence in population growth in the last couple of years for this reason. A lot of it came from the burning of fuel for generating electricity. The power plant changed over to coal. We had a new power plant built. And of course, the amount of fuel that you use for generating electricity is much more than what it would take a large number of new residents to equal that in fuel burning capacity and other pollutant capacities.
Relatively speaking, Allen says Springfield air is still better than most cities, even if it is getting a little dirtier.
Our levels are probably a little lower than most metropolitan areas. Not a whole lot. It really depends on where you go in the city. There are some areas of the city, for example, that are continually higher concentrations than others. But by and large, I'd say that we're better off than almost all the metropolitan areas in the central part of the United States.
Governor Teasdale today urged Missouri leaders of the American agriculture farm strike to maintain their resolve to win solutions for their economic problems despite the slow response of the federal government. Teasdale told 3 strike spokesmen in Jefferson City that the farmers should stay organized, even though it's hard for them to be patient. Max Hargrove of Rushville, Bill Houck of Clinton, and Jeff Wade of Hayti met with the governor. They have been picked to represent the state in meetings with Agriculture Secretary Bob Bergland later this month, or rather next month. The meeting with Teasdale today came as striking farmers around the state laid down their picket signs for the Christmas weekend. Star Wars and Close Encounters in the equipment and the clothing of the villains and heroes are among the hottest selling items in toy departments this year. We have this report on the holiday selling period that's about to end.
Toy stores boom at Christmas, but this one exists only for the holiday. It opened December 1st and closes down the day before Christmas. But by then, the proprietors will have turned a healthy profit because the store deals only in the hottest selling items this year, space toys. Space Encounters hardly needs a sign on this affluent stretch of Wilshire Boulevard. The villain of Star Wars, Darth Vader, attracts all the attention the store can handle. But shoppers for Star Wars items inside are headed for disappointment. Because the movie was released during the summer, there wasn't enough time to produce the volume of Star Wars toys to fill the demand. The few available are selling out, and every space-related gimmick is going fast to kids and adults.
Teenagers are taking our force beams to concerts. Ladies are buying them for protection. Men are buying all of the robots for themselves and their friends to put on the bar, to put on their desk, and to play with.
This robot that converts into a bar could strike some Beverly Hills shopper as a steal. The marketplace force is with this toy store, even at stratospheric prices. Miriam Bier, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And a Springfield woman can thank the sharp eye of a Wichita woman for making her family's Christmas a little brighter. Marilyn Ray of Wichita spotted a large plastic bag alongside Kansas Highway 96 near Fredonia and stopped to investigate. She opened the bag and found about 15 presents wrapped for small children. She contacted the Highway Patrol, as did the owner of the presents, Mrs. Tom Booth. She said she would pick them up when she, Mrs. Booth, heads for Wichita tomorrow for the holidays. And Tom Dye has a bright, gaily wrapped cold front ready for the Ozarks.
It's going to change. Winter finally got here, and we've had some spring-like weather, and it'll last for a few more hours. Tomorrow may be warm, at least for 2/3 of it. By tomorrow afternoon, then, that cold air gets here, and we may see some snow flurries. Back in a moment.
For all you last-minute shoppers and procrastinating Santas, JCPenney's on Battlefield Mall will open their doors tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. That's right. JCPenney's open Saturday morning at 8 a.m. and will stay open until 6 p.m. Great last-minute gifts in every department at super savings. Don't forget, shop JCPenney's early opening Christmas Eve. Open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow.
In my native land of Norway, Many of the Christmas traditions derive from the Vikings who lived there before Christianity came. They burned a huge oak log once a year to honor Thor, the god of thunder. And centuries later, Norwegians still burn the Yule log. For hundreds of years, the country people believed that a little man, a gnome, watched over their farms. When the legend of Santa Claus came to Norway, they called him Julenisse. The belief is that Santa Claus comes down the chimney, appears in the fireplace, and brings good luck to the home. And in the spirit of this happiest of seasons, Norway and I wish you God Jul and Merry Christmas.
The 24 Days of Christmas has been brought to you by the staff and management of TV10, hoping you'll have a very enjoyable holiday season.
Well, we're between a couple of cold fronts tonight, and it's really been a very nice place to be today. We topped out at 56 degrees. Joplin had 58, which was the highest reported, at least that I noticed here in the state. Didn't quite make it, though, up in the northeast corner of the state. A couple of locations were still just in the 40s. I think Kansas City was also, but that's the border of colder air. Not too cold right up against it. These are highs for the day, 35 at Chicago to 40 here at Omaha, but there is some really cold air that they were only able to top out at 17 degrees at Bismarck, and even less than that, 16 here at Great Falls. And this is where an awful lot of weather activity has taken place in the northern Rockies, where they've had high snowfalls in some of the areas there. Also, it's been quite windy and will be along this area of low pressure tomorrow, our stationary front here. And wind warnings out, travelers advisories for a lot of Colorado, also into Utah. The winds have been rather high, but we do expect a low pressure to run down here into along this into about southeast Nebraska by tomorrow morning, then on up into the northern part of Indiana by tomorrow, and that will take the cold front with it. That allows it to come through here so that by tomorrow afternoon, winds will swing around from the northwest. The temperature will begin going down. As far as snow goes, it doesn't look like it will be the kind that would pile up and make any Christmas card weather, but there may be some snow flurries in the area. And there have been scattered rainfall reports all the way from western Texas out to California. Well, earlier today they reported scattered rains in northern California and some of the dry area. Glad to get it. And this evening then, in later hours, they reported rain clear down into southern California. High for the day was a couple of places in Texas where they topped out at 80 degrees. I'll be back in a moment.
We invite you to share a family Christmas with Ruth and me. Some of our family and some of our team family.
Descend to us, we pray.
And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger.
Celebrate a family Christmas with the Billy Graham family, Johnny and June Cash, Norma Zimmer, Evie Tornquist, Myrtle Hall, and Bev Shea. This Christmas Eve at 7 here on TV10.
It's 8 o'clock over the four-state area. Temperatures have fallen back a little, but still in the comfort zone. Out in Kansas, 47 at Goodland and 48 there at Garden City. But up in the northeast corner of Missouri, it was already freezing. At Kirksville, we topped out at 56 degrees. That's 12 degrees above the normal. We probably won't get up there again for a while. The extended forecast calls for a warm-up on Wednesday and the high in the 30s. But that's after topping out in the 20s for several days. Here's the forecast for northwest Arkansas. This has been revised slightly this evening. It's for clear and cold tonight. I think it's going to get a little colder than they thought earlier. Partly cloudy, windy, and warm on Saturday. It'll be down into the upper 20s for a low tonight, and then a high in the upper 60s on Saturday. An awful lot of warm air pushing in before that cold front comes through Arkansas. A slight chance of showers or snow flurries on Christmas Eve and mostly cloudy, windy, and cold on Christmas Day. Continued cold on Monday. Low in the mid-20s Saturday night and near 30 for a high on Sunday. Now for southwest Missouri, the outlook is for clear and mild tonight and about that high. The zone forecast says the mid to upper 30s, and Springfield says it may get around 30, the Springfield metro area. Winds will be light and from the south, partly sunny and mild Saturday with a high in the middle 50s, turning colder late Saturday afternoon. Chance for snow flurries Saturday night and Sunday, windy and sharply colder. Low Saturday night in the teens, high Christmas Day around 32. Wind Saturday from the south 15 to 25, shifting to northwest during the afternoon. Probs are 20% for Saturday night. Lake stages for Lake of the Ozarks, Bull Shoals, Taneycomo Tail Race, Taneycomo, Table Rock, Norfolk, Beaver, Stockton, and Punta. Rainfall none. We're below normal, 1/4 inch for the year, and the year's about finished. That's not bad. Well, it's a clear 37, 3 Celsius, 52% humidity, south wind at 8 miles an hour. Winds picked up a little, and that is 1 degree higher than the hour previous. Barometer falling from 29.88. Sunrise and set tomorrow at 7:25 to 5:01. Ho, 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 it's going to snow, says Santa, and it also says toys for good kids. This is from Brenda McBride of Conway, Missouri. And our season's greetings from the weather watchers, weather department. Merry Christmas to you. I have a new sportscaster, and I thought maybe I'd have a new story to lead off with, but I guess it's just too important. Things going on in Arkansas are still the top story, Dan.
We could say the situation remains unsettled in Fayetteville, yes. The fans of Arkansas must be wondering what's going to happen when Arkansas takes on Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. We'll be back to talk about that and more in just a minute.
It's a great variety at 6:30 weeknights on TV 10. Monday, it's the exciting Wild, Wild World of Animals narrated by William Conrad. Tuesday and Thursday, see the hilarious Hollywood Squares hosted by Peter Marshall with 9 top show business personalities. Wednesday night, see the nation's top country and western stars on Pop Goes the Country. Friday at 6:30, it's Anything Goes on the new Truth or Consequences with host Bob Hilton. KOLR weeknights at 6:30 p.m. Join us for a good time.
It appears tonight that a total of 12 Arkansas Razorbacks may not be making the trip to the Orange Bowl on January 2nd. The lawyer for 3 suspended players says 9 other Arkansas Razorbacks may skip the contest against Oklahoma in protest of the disciplinary action against those 3. The 3 running backs Ben Cowens and Michael Forrest, as well as wide receiver Donnie Bobo, were suspended by Arkansas coach Lou Holtz for yet-to-be-announced reasons. Little Rock attorney John Walker did not say whether he's going to court over the suspensions. He did say, if necessary, we'll do what it takes. With the possibility of good weather for this Christmas weekend, Jim Stokes offers words of encouragement now for the fishermen.
High winds and cold temperatures have kept most anglers off the big lakes of Bull Shoals and Table Rock this week. The few reports received indicate spoons and jigs are the best bet for bass on either of those lakes. Table Rock bass are found as deep as 50 to 60 feet off the old creek channels and mouths of coves. On Bull Shoals, try the steep banks with standing timber. Trout fishing continues to be slow, with salmon eggs and worms the most successful bait. A few jig fishermen have connected in the calmer water. At least most of the trout coming in off Taneycomo this week have been averaging better than a pound apiece. We in the lakes area wish you a very Merry Christmas and a joyous New Year. And don't forget to bring that new fishing tackle down and give it a try over the holidays. This is Jim Stokes reporting for the Branson Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce.
New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner says catcher Thurman Munson will remain with the world champions for many years to come. Munson was outspoken last year about his discontent with the volatile Yankee atmosphere. He asked to be traded to the Cleveland Indians so he could be closer to his family in Canton, Ohio. Steinbrenner now says he and Munson have talked out their problems after a 5-hour conversation today. In the National Basketball Association tonight, New Jersey defeated Buffalo 103 to 102. It was Detroit over Chicago also by that 1-point margin, 108-107. Atlanta defeated Milwaukee 109-93. It was San Antonio over Houston 107 to 101. And looking at scores from the National Hockey League, the Boston Bruins over Philadelphia New York Rangers defeated Cleveland. It was Washington over Detroit. Toronto defeated Pittsburgh, and Montreal beat the New York Islanders.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. To the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la.
Drury College wishes you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
La 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la.
The fourth in a succession of college football games was played tonight in Orlando, Florida. In the Tangerine Bowl down in Florida, Florida State big over Texas Tech, 40-17. And undefeated Florida State's basketball team rolled over Missouri today. FSU's 97-64 margin allowed the squad to gain its 8th win of the season. In other college basketball tonight, top-ranked Kentucky big over Iona, 104-65. Third-ranked North Carolina over Tulane. And fifth-ranked Notre Dame defeated St. Joseph's of Indiana. In late games tonight, UCLA and New Mexico State, number 11 San Francisco and Rhode Island, and Utah State has defeated Utah. That's 17th-ranked Utah, 73-71. Christmas afternoon here on TV 10, Penn State and Arizona collide in the Fiesta Bowl at Tempe, Arizona. Ed Littler has this view of Penn State and its preparations.
Penn State quarterback Chuck Fusina has quietly become one of the most prolific passers in college football. In leading the Nittany Lions to a 10-1 record in the Fiesta Bowl date with Arizona State, Chuck has broken or tied 9 school passing records, and with one more year to play, he should become Penn State's all-time leading passer. While Matt Cavanaugh, the great quarterback of the arch-rival Pittsburgh Panthers, gets most of the attention, Fusina's thrown for nearly 2,300 yards this season, including 15 touchdown passes, completed 58%, and been intercepted only 9 times. Chuck, his teammates, and Coach Joe Paterno are a little disappointed they didn't get the Orange Bowl bid that they thought they would.
Oh, I think in the beginning there was some disappointment, not in the sense of where we're going or the type of bowl, but I think in the sense that our squad would like to gone someplace where they might have had a chance to play for a national championship. Certainly playing Oklahoma and beating Oklahoma at this stage might, to the public anyway, be a more significant win than our game with Arizona State.
The nation will get to see Chuck Fusina play against the Sun Devils Christmas afternoon, but no matter how he and his Penn State teammates play in that ball game, there'll be many people watching how he does in his senior season next year, including the people that vote for the Heisman Trophy winner. Running back John Cappelletti of Penn State won it several years ago, and if Chuck Fusina matches or betters his performance of this year, he could very well be a candidate for it. This is Ed Littler for CBS News.
One high school basketball score tonight. Nixa ran its record to 8-0 by beating Rogersville 73-50. That's sports for now. We'll come back in just a minute.
And we came back in less than a
little
minute.
Quicker.
I guess we'd all like to say something profound about now, but how's the lyric go? Though it's been said many times, many ways, we wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Good night from TV 10.
Now, Nurse Goodbody, let me test your near medical knowledge. What would you recommend to a mother whose little boy has just swallowed a quarter?
Well, I'd tell her to take it right out of his allowance.
Uh-huh. And what would you recommend for people having trouble with their bones?
Well, if it's their funny bones, doctor, I would prescribe a good dose of hee-haw right here on this station.
Uh-huh.
They'll see Junior Samples.
Yeah?
Minnie Pearl.
Uh-huh.
Nurse Goodbody.
And Granny's that'll cure what ails you.
Hee-Haw, Saturday night at 6 here on TV 10.
Soft, comfortable Hush Puppy shoes and boots from J.A.'s. Hush Puppy shoes make wonderful Christmas gifts. Selection and service are great, and they'll be open Christmas Eve. A look at the area's top news stories on 1977, Year in Review, at 8 p.m. December 26th, here on TV 10, KOLR Springfield.
A double feature. Stars in MASH. Followed by the second half of tonight's double feature. You're a werewolf. Dick's in deep trouble, but he doesn't know it. You will kill her tonight. Dan Rowan, Dick Martin, Julie Newmar, and Carol Lindley. The Maltese BIPPY. And now, MASH.